Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
And I'm out. What are we doing?
How do you reassess defense kind of at the midpoint of the season now?
We've had some glimpses of being the defense we want to be, and obviously at times we haven't, so just keep improving. I'm just so fortunate as a coach to have a group of guys that are so humble and hardworking and are so willing to do what it takes to get better out here on a daily basis. So just keep working.
How much do you balance making changes and also continuing to do the same thing, which you believe in? And
Right. Yeah, there's always a little bit of trying to find some answers for your guys. I don't have the type of ego where it's like it's going to be just my way and we're just going to just do it this way the entire time. So we're continually evolving and trying to just put the best product out there that we can. And if that means we got to put a few more little wrinkles in, and that's what we got to do for sure. We're working on that.
Does this part of the schedule set up as a better time to potentially tweak some systematic approaches?
I wouldn't say that. A lot of it's just getting better at what we do, and then just adding things here and there. Now, regardless of the opponent, the time of the year, we're always looking to improve. So I wouldn't say this part of the schedule would encourage that anymore. Yeah.
what have you seen out of that Cal offense, especially Goff?
They're explosive, man. When they get hot and they get rolling, they're difficult to deal with. You've seen that. They put up some points. They put up a lot of yards, and they got some super talented players across the board. A skill position is the obvious place everybody points to, but they got an experienced offensive line, some running backs that can go. So it's and then Goff obviously runs that thing, and the other guy, number 8, now he's a little pain in the butt too. Now that sucker can go too. So it's a great challenge for us.
Do you expect to see him, given the last few weeks, how at times you guys have struggled a little bit against
Absolutely.
the quarterback?
Yeah, absolutely. Expect to see him. He reminds me of very similar to the guy at Utah. So definitely you got to see him. If they don't use him, it'd be a great relief. Yeah.
Is there anything you guys can take from what Washington was able to do against that offense?
A little bit. Washington runs a little bit different defense. They do different things, but there's definitely some things in there that you can take. And then there's some similar opponents that they played this year that do some similar things that we do that have had some success. So there's definitely some indicators that things that we can just give our guys the best opportunity to be successful.
How's Goff developed from year 1 to year 2?
I think year 1 you saw the glimpses of a guy that can be really, really, really good. So he just continues to get better, more consistent. He's got all the tools. He's a guy obviously with he's got great accuracy, make all the throws, and I think he's more mobile than people give him credit for. Got a great sense of the pocket.
Some of the players this week were talking about gap assignments and how they're still struggling to sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can you really do as a coach besides just saying, stop doing that?
Just keep working on it, we're incorporating more walkthroughs and just defining it, more every single day. I don't want to give them an out or myself an out by any means, but there's a little bit of a transition when it comes to that, a little bit of growing pains, from going to that mentality of I got to make every play, I got to get to the ball every single time, to I got to do my job, and you see that at times. It's not a lot. It's not a selfish thing. Like some of these guys they want it so bad. They're so competitive that sometimes they do more than their job. They don't do their job and they just try to get to the ball. So we'll continue to get better, improve with that. But when they get it, it's going to be hard to deal with. It is. And the beauty of it is for the guys that have dreams of playing at the next level. That's the training that they're going to need. You can't play street ball. You can't play gimmick defense in the NFL. It's very different than a lot of college defenses.
At some point, that's got to be on them, though, right? It's got to be a mental toughness sort of thing.
It's all of us. It's always all of us. Yeah, it's always all of us. And then, but I truly believe when they get it and we all get on the same page with the defense, we're very tough to deal with.
Were you expecting a certain amount of transition with that and a little bit of growing pains?
Not really. I mean, I try to be optimistic and confident, and I love the guys that we got, and You know, we're a little bit of a work in progress from that standpoint, you know, but the beauty is they're starting to truly understand it at a high level now, whereas before it was, you know, 75% of the guys are all in and fully understand, 25%, you know, when it gets hot and you get in the moment and it's competitive and it's Saturday, you know, you revert to kind of what you've always done, you know, and unfortunately that's a little bit natural at times, you know, but we're overcoming that more and more every single time we go out there. There's glimpses of more and more good stuff, so I'm optimistic.
So it's been a couple of weeks since Anthony moved to corner and safety. How do you evaluate that?
I mean, I love both of them. They're just ball players, football players. I mean, that's the true essence of a DB, defensive back. You know, they can both play. They can both play both. And then a guy like Ish can play nickel, corner, and safety. So having that type of versatility and being able to kind of match up based on who we're playing that week helps us big time. You know, bigger receivers, maybe you got AJ on them. Quicker receivers, you can put Ish down in there. So it's a great luxury to have.
It seemed like Miles was freelanced a little bit more last year. Played a little more street ball, like you were saying. Was he able to get away with that just because he had those kind of veteran linebackers playing alongside of him? That, you know, if he went off, you know, out of his gap somewhere, those guys kind of picked up the slack, whereas he can't necessarily do that as much this year.
Yeah, I thought this last week he was super productive. You know, he was, you know, there's obviously a few mistakes in there, and all the guys are gonna make a few mistakes, but I thought he was super productive. You know, got to the ball, and yeah, it's tough sometimes because you're playing with that. Okay, if I keep him in this box, you know, he kind of loses his essence a little bit. So he's trying to find the balance in between understanding my job at a high level, doing my job, and then once I've done my job, be Miles Jack and go get to the rock, you know, and I think that there's space in there for both those guys, the disciplined guy and the guy that can kind of, you know, he can wiggle around a little bit.
Did you plan to use him as a pass rusher a little bit more heading into the season, or did you always see him as being more valuable behind the ball?
I think he can do both. I would say his true value is kind of behind the ball a little bit more, you know. Pass rush is a unique thing, you know, and it's something you can develop, but it's something that a lot of guys they have and they don't, you know. And not to say he doesn't have it, because I think that he you know, he can be a guy that can be an effective blitzer and will come at times. But there's guys like Dion, you know, for example, that has like a natural ability to do it, has a natural sense for it, leverage and quickness, and knows how to turn his toe and knows how to flip his hips. Yeah, so I think, you know, I really believe like he'll make an amazing. He's a great outside backer, but there's going to come a point in time in his career where he becomes an amazing inside backer. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Chris. Cool.